there's a lot of language that comes about like something like defending yourself. So I've noticed a lot of times there's like, I got to defend myself. I got to defend myself against this person. I got to defend myself against taking other people's energies. I got to defend myself against the emotions. And there's something, there's like, it's become a general word, which isn't specific. It needs to be more specific to specific things. For example, the word defend is a good word. And you can defend yourself in war, right? You got to defend yourself in war. You're going to defend yourself if an intruder walks into your house, right? There are certain aspects in which you will defend yourself. However, when it comes to your emotional state of being, when it comes to dealing emotionally with someone else, with your thoughts, you don't need to defend yourself against these emotions. The word that will be a lighter word, something that will make more sense, is honoring yourself. Now, why am I saying this? Because the word defend itself means that there's an enemy out there that is out there to get you and to hurt you, right? That is just what defense means, right? So how can we shift that word and use a word that doesn't allow us to be in a state of flight or fight, in the survival state of being, right? Defend is you're immediately in survival. You're immediately in fight, flight, or fight. Your nervous system is already heightened, and all other aspects of your being need to be lowered or discarded. For example, your metabolism goes down. Your thought patterns go down, your deciphering goes down, your ability to see clearly goes down, because right now, right, your adrenaline goes up. So right now, when you think, oh, I have to defend myself against this person, so I'm going to speak my truth, I'm going to defend myself, right? You're immediately in a fight state. That fight state burns your nervous system. Okay, it causes you to have an inability to see clearly, and to put yourself first in a healthy way, not in a fight or flight way, right? So just think about this. When you use the word, I'm defending myself against, right? I'm defending myself. It has to be against something. That means someone is bad and you are good, or someone is evil and you are not. That state of being is a survival state. So what I keep hearing is when I'm in a state of defending myself, it needs to be in specific moments in time. It needs to be according to a situation, and the situation really, really needs you to be in a state of defense. For example, there is a lion and the lion is about to attack you, you're going to defend yourself. There is someone who broke in your house, you're going to defend yourself. There is somebody down the street that's walking after you, you're going to defend yourself. That is defense. Now, a lot of times with our emotions, with other people, in interacting with others, somebody has said something that hurts you, somebody mistreated you, treated you badly. Instead of defend yourself, which makes you, every time you meet this person or you see someone like that, or you feel that somebody has triggered or upset you or caused you pain, you're going to have to go into that flight or fight, which we are so used to from a childhood state, because that was a survival energy. However, if we can find another word, which is I will honor myself, all of a sudden it changes completely. That person doesn't become as important. There isn't that revenge. There isn't that protection. There isn't that I have to defend right now. There's nothing to do, and it has nothing to do with the other person. When I honor myself, it basically means that I am now going into an energetic state where I become the focal point of my attention, not the other person. When I defend, the other person is the focal attention for me to survive them, for me to survive that being, for me to survive this situation, which is fabulous. We need that for survival. We need that to actually not die, to live. That is one other aspect completely. But what would it feel like when you start to use the word honor? This person said something. This person reacted this way. This person did this thing. How can I honor myself in this dynamics, right? Honoring yourself, you start to self-reflect and be like, what does honoring myself mean? Which is self-respect, right? What does it look like? How does it feel in my body when I start to honor who I am and what I am, right? And then all of a sudden you're going to start to notice, you're going to see, you're going to want to identify your value system. You're going to want to identify more about you and less about them. So it's like, as empaths, we give so much energy about them, who they are, what they are doing, so that we know who we need to become, right? We need to become defensive. We need to protect ourselves because they're evil. That is a lot of energy going out. That is a lot of depletion of your energy going out to someone, when all you need is for that energy to come back here, because we're so used to it. It's such a pattern, right? That it always goes out. Well, this person is doing this. Da, 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 da. To honor myself means I will all of a sudden, I become the focus of my attention. My energy comes back home into my body. I start to honor here. I start to think of this person, not this person against that, not this person against that situation. I don't have to become someone else because of a situation. I want to be more of me, which is the fact, which is the reason we go into that defensive mode, right? The reason we go into that is because that other person, that situation becomes so much more important to take care of and pull our energy there. So then we get to know who we need to become in this situation, which is stand up for my right. I'm going to say the thing, blah, 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 against your true nature, right? Which is very wise, wisdom, right? Which is attuned, which is aligned with divinity. So how would it feel if you, instead of using the word defense against, or I'm defending myself, you try to choose another word, and the word that you can start to play with is, oh my God, how can I honor myself in this situation? And when you say that, even when I say it right now, I am feeling, what more of me can I get to know, right? And respect myself and honor who I am in this current situation. It could be, I'm going to get hold of a lawyer. That's honoring who I am. Right? I'm not defending, I'm not fighting against, I'm honoring who I am. I'm going to get hold of a lawyer. I'm honoring who I am. You know what? This person doesn't even deserve to hear to receive the vibration of my words and my energy in that sense, right? Because I'm honoring myself. Wisdom shows up. When you're honoring yourself, there's a kind of like, you allow wisdom to come through, right? Because what is the wisest thing I can do to honor myself right now? Is it to answer back? Is it to stay silent? What would honor me rather than honor them and what they are projecting over me or what they want me to do, right? In defense, meaning I am doing what they want me to do. Honoring means I want to do what I feel is right for me according to me, my energy, and how I perceive life and how I move through life. I hope this is making sense, because this is really important. Words are really, really important. And it seems to come to me a lot, like when I read certain languages, like I read a comment and there was the word defense, and immediately I received, shift that word around. You shift the word around, you start to focus differently, and you start to perceive yourself with more respect, and you kind of start to see yourself not as the reaction not as a reactory person, but someone who actually takes an action from within, whatever that action is, takes that action from a place of honor. So let me know, like, how does this work for you? Like, if you're going to honor yourself instead of defend yourself, how does it feel in your body? How does it feel when you use that language instead? When you're about to take a decision in life, when you have been wounded, when somebody has triggered you, how does that reflect for you internally, my love? Because it's really important. It'll change so much, and it'll make your decisions come from a space of inspiration and wisdom and self-care and self-love, and most importantly, self-respect, for you to move forward energetically in a place where you are more of you, not less of you, because you're defending yourself. You become less of you when you're in a state of defense, because actually a lot of aspects in your nervous system and your body don't, like, even your metabolism, your digestive system actually stops working as much, because now you're in survival mode. So you're going to have to focus on how to defend yourself against this. But the wisdom isn't there. It's just the body's survival, which is a fabulous thing. But it's needed in very specific situations. And it's not of your highest benefit to use it in your emotional expression with others, in your day-to-day life, with a narcissist or an emotionally immature person. It's with an emotionally immature person, with people who trigger you. How can I honor myself in this situation? You'll notice your whole body will relax, right? And a different energy shows up. And a wiser version of you, the pocket of energy that's wiser, shows up to let you know what honoring yourself looks like. And that's okay. Honoring yourself doesn't have to look loving and lovey and forgiving. Honoring yourself is very particular to you specifically, as long as you're not in the survival mode. I hope this is making sense. I'd love you all so much.